Hi children, hope all are fine at home. And this sky is a night sky looking very beautiful with sparkling twinkling little stars. And I welcome all twinkling stars and sparkling stars of class 7 to max session. And hope you are eagerly waiting to see our next chapter. And it is nothing but simple equations. And today, before getting into this concept, let me teach you some new language. And it is max language. Are you all interested in learning a new language? Here it is. How will we write this statement? Sum of 80 and 24. And it is a literal statement, English statement. How to write this 80, sum of 80 and 24 in max language? Mathematicians are very smart. They don't want to waste the place, waste space, waste the energy, waste time. They are very precise and sharp. And so they defined many new symbols to make the content precise. Okay, how can I write in this statement in a mathematical language? You are familiar with sum, isn't it? So 80 plus 84. Isn't it very smaller compared to this big statement, sum of 80 and 84? Yes, my dear children. Now number divided by 4. Any number. So I will write number by 4. Isn't it? Yes, my dear children. But to make it still more smaller and simpler, instead of writing the whole word number, they used the letter n, small n. And it is not compulsory that you should always use the letter n. It can be any letter. Okay. Then, here is a very big statement. Twice the sum of a number and 5. Twice. Twice, what is meant by twice? It is double. 2 times. You can say it as 2 times. Okay. What is 2 times? The sum of, again, sum of a number and 5. That number can be any letter and 5. I am adding these two. That is meant by sum of. And twice is also there. So I have 2 into a plus 5. See here, in this mathematical language, what are all the things has been involved? What are all the symbols has been involved? Numbers are there. Okay. Then alphabets are there. Very good. Then what other things do I have? I have some operations too. Plus, division. Here I have both multiplication as well as addition. So in mathematical language, we come across 3 things. What are they? Constants, variables and operations. Okay. This constant is a fixed thing. I cannot change it. Whereas variable is an open thing. Any value can be substituted. It is an open box. It can change its value. Okay. Whereas constant is closed. I cannot change it. Once sealed is sealed. I cannot open it if it is fixed with a constant. Okay, children? Okay. Now, let's see the definition of variable. What is variable? Variable means something that can vary or change. If they ask you in 2 marks, you should say it is a quantity that can change, that can vary. Okay. And a variable takes on different numerical values. It is not always fixed. For example, I said here in the above example a number. That number can be anything. You can say the number is 100. Your friend may say the number is 200. So it takes different numerical values. Whereas constant, if I say 80, it is 80. If I say You have scored 90 marks. It is 90. It cannot be changed unless you make another attempt. Okay, children. So what are the examples? How can I represent variables? Always variables are denoted by alphabets alone, my dear children. And these alphabets should be written only in small letters, not in capital letters. Hope this is clear to you. Okay, children. Now, what is an equation? Now we are getting into this chapter. Just now we defined what is a variable. It can change. It takes different values. Okay. Here's the definition of equation. An equation is a condition on a variable. If I imply a condition on a variable, then it becomes an equation. How to imply condition over a variable? For example, if I consider your weight as a variable and I say your father's weight is double your weight, twice your weight. Now I have implied a condition on it that your father weight is twice your weight. So I have implied a condition on your weight, that variable, that way. Is it clear? That's why we state an equation is a condition on a variable. In an equation, there is always an equality sign. Your father's weight is equal to twice your weight. So always an equation will have an equality sign. And we will have two sides in an equation. One is left hand side, another one is right hand side. Here I have an example of an equation. See here, it is a mixture of constants, variable, operations, and it's must to have equality sign. Without an equality sign, I cannot state this statement as an equation. A statement becomes an equation only if we have an equality sign. Is it clear? Okay. Now it has two sides. Left hand side and right hand side. What is in LHS? 4x plus 5. What is there in RHS, right hand side? It is 65. Is it clear, my dear children? Now, it is not compulsory that variable should always be in left hand side alone. This variables, no, variables in the sense letters. This variables can be in both the sides. Here see an example. Here we have an equation. Here 4x is in left hand side and 6x is in right hand side. Here too I have variable. It is not always mandatory that only number should be there in right hand side. Is it clear, my dear children? It is also an equation. Whenever we buy things, okay, before that, see here a man is balancing with walking on a rope with a stick in his hand. And here too a man is balancing. Here we should know to balance our mental fitness and physical fitness. Another one more thing. We should know to balance our intelligence, smartness and our love and care towards others. Just because we are intelligent and smart, we should not neglect kind and care towards others. Both should be equally balanced. Isn't it? These are the lifetime examples that we come across the word balancing. It should be well balanced. So, an equation is also like a physical balance. It should be equal on both sides. Most of the time, equation is set with an example of a physical balance. Here we have LHS and RHS. Okay. Whenever we buy things, if there is some other sign other than equality between this LHS and RHS, it is not an equation. Guess conditions other than equal to, my dear children. Do we have any other conditions other than equality in maths? Come on, think over it. Any other symbols other than equality? Surely you would have got it. It is greater than or less than. Then if I have such symbol in a statement, it is not an equation. Is it clear, my dear children? It is not an equation. Only if I have an equality sign, it is an equation. If I don't have equality and some other signs are there like greater than, less than, not equal to, then it is not an equation. Whenever we buy things, we used to say conditions apply, isn't it? What are the conditions that we should remember when we have an equation? The two expressions should have equal value. If I substitute the value for a variable, both the sides should be a balanced one, like a physical balance. Okay, both should have equal values. Then at least one of the expressions must contain a variable. Without a variable, that equation will not have any sense. Okay, of course, we can make an equation only with numbers like this. 8 minus 3 is equal to 5. Is it an equation? Yes, of course, it is an equation, but a numerical equation. See here, 8 less than 3 is 5. It's a numerical equation, but it cannot be considered as an equation as per the definition of equation. Okay, children. So, every equation should have at least one variable. Can I have more than one variable in an equation? Yes, my dear children. In higher classes, you will come across more than one variable in an equation. But minimum requirement for an equation is at least one variable should be there. Okay. It should remains the same when the expression on the left and on the right or interchange. If I exchange from left hand side to right hand side, taking everything from the left to right and everything from right to left, that is what here they remain. Interchanging the position. Even in physical balance, is it compulsory that always the stone should be on the right and this should be on the left? Even if I interchange, the shopkeeper can use the balance, isn't it? That's the same thing here. Okay, children. Now, write the following statements in the form of equation. We are going to practice mathematical language. We have to write equations for the given statement. Shall we start now? Okay, children. If you subtract 5 from 6 times a number, you get 7. See here, dear children, whenever you come across some questions like this, read the question more than 2 to 3 times. If you subtract, here and there I place symbols. Subtract 5 from, which number should be written in subtraction? From number should be written from 6 times. What is the operation we use when the word times come? Multiplication. 6 times a number. I'm going to have this number as any letter. It can be N or X or Y, whatever it is. Okay. You get 7. If I subtract, I'm going to get 7. What I'm going to subtract? If you subtract 5, I'm going to subtract 5. Write that 5 from. So this should be written first. 6n. 6 times n is 6n. Is it clear? 6 into n minus 5. You get. In the place of you get, I am going to use the symbol equal to. For each and every word, I have replaced the symbols and signs. Okay, so what is the answer for this? 6z minus 5 is equal to 0. This is the answer. 6z minus 5 is equal to 7 is the answer. But to write in steps now, you should know to practice this. Let the number be z. Whatever may be the number I have chosen, I have chosen here n. But you can have any letter. It is not mandatory always z or n. It can be any letter. And in exam, this is it's compulsory. Let statement is compulsory and the conclusion statement is compulsory. All other things is for understanding. Z multiplied by 6 is 6z. That is 6 times. The 6 times a number is written as 6z. And subtracting 5 from 6z. Again the whole statement. These steps are not compulsory. Just for your understanding, I have shown it, my dear children. Only thing is you should know to write the let statement and the final equation. Okay, children, let us continue in the next slide.